Good evening, Professor. It's the 5 minutes presentation to the oral defense. Mongolia could not care about its human rights due to rapid economic growth. Mongolian legal system and constitutional law does accept international law, so that treaties ratified by Mongolia are very effective. ICCPR does have several categories, for example, prohibition of torture, inhuman degrading treatment, prohibition of slavery trade, right to liberty, freedom of movement. According to Article 26, every person has equal rights. Mongolian women's rights were violated through sexual violence and equal rights. Mongolian women's rights were a big example is that only 20% of parliament are women, and among them no one puts in private sector and executive bodies. LGBTI people do get discriminated against in public. Also, Mongolian could not provide sexual education through social and public, for the reason that Mongolia could not comply with ICCPR and ICESCR obligation. CSV and 19 other Mauritian women claimed their rights from HRC. HRC held that it was unlawful interference with family, which was breach of Article 2. This case shows that Mongolia must not make its women feel gender justice. We broke the Netherlands. In Netherlands, married women do not get unemployment benefits unless they are separated from men permanently. So Mr. Brook filed HRC. HRC held that Mr. Brook was a victim of violation of Article 26 ICCPR Graciela Atodel Evelinal with Peru. Married woman had 2 apartments in Lima, but when she sues her tenant, she was not entitled to the reason that she was married. So HRC proceeded under Article 26, all persons are equal before the law. ICCPR considers that a country's gender-based violence constitutes a breach of Article 7 of the ICCPR. Gender-based violence can for many reasons, such as violent partners. In Mongolia, most gender-based violence happens at home. Even though Mongolia ratified CEDAW, women do get discriminated against. According to CEDAW, we must eliminate discrimination against women. X and Y versus Georgia. Mother and daughter suffered at the hand of their husband. Georgia criminal was superseding effect to protect women and girls from sexual abuse. Mongolia, as the country that ratified both CRC and CEDAW, this kind of case must not happen. CVP with Bulgaria. The Bulgaria violated state obligation under CEDAW. Bulgaria failed to punish and sexual assault. Rima and others with Republic of Moldova. Mother of 2 daughters beaten by their husband, in thought their husband is police officer. This case concerns HIR, but it concerns human rights. M with Bulgaria. 14 years old girl was raped by 2 men and didn't convicted because according to Bulgarian law, rape must be proven. Thus ETHR held that Bulgaria should look at all circumstances before making the decision. In 2015, Mongolian domestic violence took place. 3,299 people were injured through domestic violence, and 80 victims lost their lives in 2017. Mongolia amended the law to combat domestic violence. It has articles that prohibit violence. However, LCDV didn't have enough support and fund. Thus, UN suggests to Mongolia that health care workers such as teachers, educators, law enforcement officers should be working for gender justice. Mongolia codified law on combating trafficking. However, trafficking secretly operating. Most truckers are from poor families. Mongolia still did not meet the minimum requirements of eliminating trafficking. Since Mongolia does not release its court judgment, it's hard to know what had happened and hard to trust our government. Without judicial transparency, it's not easy to improve the causing problems. Therefore, need to improve the flow of judicial transparency. Thank you.